And welcome back, YouTube. Still Labor Day morning, September 6th, 2021. It's 11:04 a.m. And man, it's getting frustrated with all these videos I shoot, and I'm like on a roll with something, and then bam, it stops recording. This time I actually saw the pop-up telling me I was out of space, and I went to properties, went to my settings and stuff and checked the space, and sure enough, I was actually out of space. Just frustrating because before I left to go run my recycling to my storage, I had uploaded all the vlogs that were sitting on my phone and cleared them out and made sure deleted them, made sure they weren't in the recycle bin, and even did a reboot just to try and prevent that bug that sometimes has it stop recording when it says it's out of space and it's not. And I've also found a lot of times, like when I do a reboot, a bunch of space will free itself up. Stuff that was cached or whatever, it dumps, and on a fresh boot there's more space, sometimes dramatically more. Of course, I'm using iOS, and iOS is designed in such a way to give users very limited access to to their actual system and system files and things like that. So I can't, I'm limited on what I can see. It's not like a Windows PC or even an Android machine where I can get at it and look at intricate details of what's going on with the files and what's taking up space and stuff. Anyway, while I was eating my burger from Wendy's, I checked to see how I once again have so little space to record video, and it turns out that it's what the heck was I going to say? It turns out that it's that I've noticed a couple times before that YouTube has an excessive amount of cache, and I noticed YouTube was sucking up 8 gigs in cache, so I uninstalled it. Obviously, I have to reinstall it so I can upload these videos, but I'm sure when I reinstall it, it has plenty of space for it. So anyway, yeah, first world problems. What can I say? I'm gonna go check out that protest that I saw going on at Steel Indian School Park. That looked very interesting. And it'd be nice to put video on this channel that's a little more substantive than me just rambling about whatever mundane bullshit is going on in my life. I want to go up 3rd Street rather than come over from 7th. And most of these side streets go through between 7th and 3rd. Interesting bit of Phoenix transportation and street history, which I love rambling on about that. So I've done a lot of reading and research about it. Now, it's before my time, so it's not something I experienced personally, but once upon a time, Phoenix had a street rail system. I mean, yeah, it has a street rail system now. It's got the Metro Light Rail, but long before that. I believe it started in the late 1800s and kept expanding until, I want to say, the 1930s. And then it started losing funding and losing routes, and eventually by the early 50s, I think, it was completely dismantled. Which is sad, because anyway, the road I'm on now, 3rd Street, was the rail route. 3rd Street was the road that had the streetcar on it. From School all the way south to, actually it ended at Indian School Road. There were tracks on Indian School Road where you could go east or west. And then oh, there's people waving flags. There's protesters out here. Not as many as it looked like there would, though. Anyway, it went south along 3rd all the way into downtown. And I'm really bummed when they built the light rail that they didn't restore that historical route. But yeah, you ever wonder why 3rd Street looks different than other north-south, centrally located north-south thoroughfares in Phoenix? That's why. That's where there's a lot of business fronts that face it, like older business buildings that face it. Because once upon a time, that's where the streetcar was. So, hey, you learned something today. So I'm rolling through Steel Indian School Park right now, and I'm gonna start rolling new video to go cover that protest, because I want that to be its own video, and heaven forbid I do any actual video editing. Right now I'm just looking for someplace semi-shady to park. That's good enough. It's not like brutally hot today, but it's amazing how sunlight on your windshield and windows can make your car hot when you get back in it here in Phoenix. And for those of you who remember me popping into the 99-cent only store and buying this sunshade, because I did, bought a 99-cent sunshade. Yeah, so it had these 2 little suction cups that came with it that you need to put through these holes in it to make it stay on your windshield. And I was unaware of that. There's nothing on the packaging to warn me about that. And when I popped it open, one of them disappeared. And I haven't been able to figure out where it went. I think it's in that Never Never Land underneath my driver's seat. So, yeah, that thing's pretty much useless right now. So yeah, nicer to just get me some shaded parking. Anyway, before I got so rudely cut off by the phone running out of space, I was talking about my disdain for people that are panhandling, and I do get why a lot of people do it. I mean, there are a lot of homeless people whose concern is getting money for booze, money for drugs, money for cigarettes. And when I was homeless, I drank a little bit, and I actually come to think of it, when I was homeless, at least my last more recent bouts with homelessness, I definitely stopped smoking weed, so that was I was not doing any drugs of any kind. But yeah, I do get that there's some people that are doing that, and of course they're panhandling because the food banks and the people that feed are not providing that. But there is a lot of assistance out there, and the guy with the sign saying we'll work for food, that's just clearly bullshit, because if we really wanted food, this time of day he'd be headed downtown. Now I'm not sure how it is now. I haven't been homeless in about, seems like it's been about 15 years. Might have even been more than that. Actually, probably closer to 16 or 17 years. But at that time, right in the area of about 9th Avenue and Madison Street, every day they served lunch at the Salvation Army, and it was usually a very, very good lunch. So come in, cafeteria, help yourself, get some food. And then every night at 5 p.m. they served dinner at the Andre House. Again, usually a really great meal. To be honest, I probably ate better when I was homeless than I do now. because I made a point to almost every day be at the Salvation Army for lunch, be at Audrey House for dinner, and eat 2 nice, full, balanced, nutritious meals every day. So, yeah, there's absolutely no need to be flying a sign saying that you need, begging because you need money for food. If you see somebody with that sign, at least in Phoenix, understand that it's not what they need the money for. And I've certainly heard about a bunch of places that are, a bunch of instances. John Stossel actually did a really good video about it on YouTube. And for those who are unfamiliar with John Stossel, definitely, in my mind, one of the most legendary reporters and newscasters. He used to be, when I was a teenager and a young adult, he used to be on ABC's, oh man, I forget which shows. He was either on 60 Minutes or 2020. Anyway, I remember watching him on TV when I was much younger and really enjoying his segments. And since then, he just does independent stuff on YouTube. It has a great YouTube channel just simply called Stossel. And he's a very outspoken libertarian, but I love it when he approaches a subject and does a video about it, because he doesn't really try to take a side. I mean, kind of he does, and his side is certainly on the side of freedom and choice. But everybody he interviews on everything, he always tries to play devil's advocate and ask the person he's interviewing, regardless of what side they're on, to consider the other side and throw some interesting arguments at it, even when he's arguing against someone that's kind of on the side that he's on, just to provide some balanced reporting. And I enjoy listening to him a lot. They did a great video several years ago where he kind of went undercover to see what it was like to panhandle, and made himself look like a homeless person, went out and panhandled. And he also went and did some undercover reporting and followed some people that were panhandling, to find out that sometimes people that would be panhandling with a sign, like the guy that I just passed over on the 51 at Indian School, weren't homeless at all. Sometimes they would walk away from where they were flying their sign, begging, to a reasonably nice car parked somewhere and drive off. Maybe they are living in their car, it's hard to say, but they certainly had a vehicle. They certainly could be out, looking for work in that vehicle, or it could be, driving to a place that provides food, to a food bank. And if they have a vehicle, certainly they could do better with with a food box. They have a place to store food that comes in a food box. So to act like they were homeless and hungry and whatnot was kind of a farce. And I don't. That was in the Stossel video. I've seen it in some other videos though, but I think in the Stossel video, he actually followed somebody to a house, and then knocked on the door. And when they came to the door, he called them out on, hey, you were just flying a sign that says you're homeless, but do you live here? Because I've watched you leave the place where you're begging and come here. Like, this appears to be your home. And and of course the person got very defensive about it. But yeah, I don't give those people anything more than occasionally like a bag of chips, and I will always give them water. I live in Phoenix. I definitely, everybody needs water. Staying hydrated in Phoenix is so important. Almost or no, especially somebody who's walking in the heat here. But yeah, those that are homeless, there's help out there. There's no reason to be in freeway right-of-ways bumming people, begging people for cash. There just isn't. Anyway, I'm going to shut this down now and go see what's going on with that protest. It looks interesting.